This is why black male media is needed for black men by black men, because look, money talks. This is over 100 years old. Money talks. And if you want a different image, black man, you're going to have to fund it with your own money.
Yeah, we back with another interesting video. Now today I'm going to be reviewing and providing commentary to probably my favorite Kevin Samuels broadcast ever that he ever dropped. I was actually in the chat room live, watching it live when he was broadcasting this one. And listen, I'm not even gonna waste no time, man. Today we're gonna talk about it. This broadcast was different from most of Kevin's broadcasts. In fact, it don't even got a million views. Like I said, his best content don't even got the highest amount of views. I always said the content with its highest amount of views, the low IQ content gets the highest amount of views. The controversial content, the viral content, that on YouTube, that's what the algorithm loves. That's what the algorithm is going to boost. But the content with the true substance, the meat and potatoes, the algorithm ain't messing with that. But anyways, man, today in this broadcast, Kevin was talking about the 1915 movie, The Birth of a Nation. Now, I'm sure many of you probably never heard of that film, but The Birth of a Nation was a film released in 1915 that depicted the American Civil War and the Reconstruction era. The film was directed by D.W. Griffith and was based on the novel The Klansman, but it's notorious for its racist portrayal of black men. In the film, black men are depicted as sexually aggressive towards white women and as a threat to the social order of the United States of America. Keep in mind, this movie came out shortly after the blacks in North America were freed from slavery, were released from bondage. And for those of you guys who've been following my channel for some time, then you already know we have already discussed the 19th century propaganda and pseudoscience that was disseminated all throughout the world, destroying the image of our people. So this is nothing new. A couple weeks ago in my videos discussing Antonov Furman, we spoke about the pseudoscientific literature, but now we're going to talk about the media, the movies, the cinematography, and how it all played a role in destroying the image of the black man. In the film, white men are dressed in KKK robes and are seen as heroes who save white women from the supposed threat of the black man. The film also perpetuates the idea that black people are inherently inferior and need to be controlled and governed by white people. The film was extremely popular during this time, and it was shown in theaters across the United States and even in the White House during the regime of Woodrow Wilson. As we know, Woodrow Wilson, notorious white supremacist, big white supremacist. In fact, I got a personal hatred in my heart for Woodrow Wilson because it was under his administration that the United States Marines invaded Haiti. And we already discussed what happened during the invasion and occupation of Haiti during 1915. Go check my video out I did a couple weeks ago. Fuck that nigga. Anyways, let's continue. Many people during that time praised the film for its technical innovation, while others were disturbed by its racist content. However, the film had a lasting impact on American society and culture. The Birth of a Nation helped to popularize and legitimize the idea of white supremacy. It reinforced negative stereotypes of black men as being violent, criminal, and sexually degenerate. These stereotypes have persisted in American culture and continue to shape the way black men are represented in the media today. For example, in many Hollywood films, black men are portrayed as gangbangers, drug dealers, pimps, crooks, robbers, and violent criminals. They are rarely given roles as romantic leads or heroes. This reinforces the idea that black men are inherently dangerous and reinforces the idea that they must be controlled and under the rulership of white men. And during this broadcast, in my opinion, what Kevin Samuels was trying to convey, he was trying to tell black men the importance of not only controlling our own image and narrative, but also the importance of creating our own media platforms. Because if you leave your image and your narrative in the hands of somebody else, don't be surprised when they destroy it and they stomp all over it and they shit all over it. The importance of black men creating our own media platforms to control our own image and narrative cannot be overstated. For far too long, the mainstream media has perpetuated negative stereotypes and portrayed black men in a one-dimensional and harmful way. This has resulted in a skewed and inaccurate view of black men that has contributed to the negative stereotypes that are attached to our collective image. Now, without wasting no time, I'm going to jump into the footage and I'm going to come in and out. I'm going to interject with my commentary. Let's go.
I think it's time for me to teach class. It's time for people, black people in particular, black people in general, black men in particular, to understand the power of image. Image as power. I've spoken about it in many different ways, but I'm going to take you back to the beginning. Sit back, relax, fair use.
The second act of the film, which focuses on Reconstruction, is the real source of controversy. In Piedmont, South Carolina, newly freed slaves are shown celebrating instead of doing their jobs, living off government handouts, and joining all-black militias to intimidate peaceful citizens for no real reason. Reconstruction is wholly painted as a disaster. The black vote is equated with white disenfranchisement, and a radical Republican congressman named Austin Stoneman is thrilled. After black men are elected to the House of Representatives, they're shown taking their shoes off, throwing things, and eating fried chicken before ruling that all white people must salute black soldiers on the street and legalizing interracial marriage as they cheer at the idea of marrying a white woman. Now,
that, my friends, is the first part of the presentation. That was a movie entitled D.W. Griffith's Birth of a Nation. Many people, sadly, many black people, never watched this movie. And some of you have only heard of Birth of a Nation as the latest remake with Nate Parker. I need you guys to pay close attention because we're about to start understanding image as power. Image as power. You need to go back to a time before the internet, computers, before the telephone, before the radio, where people got their information from either telegraph, newspaper, or their life. See, a lot of times we get talked about racism and white supremacy, and a lot of that stuff. I mean, that stuff has its place. But I need everybody in here to understand how media can be used for whatever purposes deemed necessary. And this movie is going to have more to do with how black male images are portrayed today. And it's sad that many of you never even heard of it. Listen to what it said. Woodrow Wilson screened this movie at the White House. It was screened before Congress, before Senate, for the House of Representatives, before Congress. And the president was mentioned in this movie. Oh, you guys we're going to school today. Pack a lunch.
the other major local, but his films copied what he heard. He copied the Klansmen. He copied racist cartoons of the era.
His films did not copy history. Copied what he heard around the house, what he heard from his daddy, what he heard in cartoons. Oh, what he saw on a video, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Snapchat. Remember how some people play slick and loose with how they talk about people, and they don't do their research. They just put it up in a movie because it sounds good. Image is power, people. And you're looking at somebody who this is what we talk about, this great conspiracy. Often it doesn't start with a great conspiracy. It starts with just somebody who's careless, making an offhanded comment, taking something that sounds good because it may get clicks or views or stir controversy and not care about the outcome.
All right, we back. Now, I wanted to interject right there because right there, Kevin was talking about the filmmaker, D.W. Griffith, and the fact that the film was not based on any historical data, any historical facts. It was based on his own personal anecdotal experiences, things that he heard from his family, his friends, his inner circle, his own personal opinion, similar to when you go on these various social media sites, Instagram, Twitter, and you see people destroying the image of the black man, and then you say, and then you hear them talk about, well, that's just my personal experience, that's what I personally feel, or that's what I heard from somebody, that's what I heard from over here, oh, I heard on this site, I heard on Twitter, I saw on YouTube. So it's the same bullshit we're going through today, man. The same shit we're going through today. Nobody is really using any historical data, any historical facts when they spread this propaganda against black men. They're only using their own anecdotal experiences, things I've heard. I feel this way. My friend told me this. I saw it on Twitter. Anyways, let's continue.
Again, this man wrote movies to get views. That's what his careless thinking. I'm just talking. But we're about to see how when one person can be reckless with the power of image, mixing it with widespread media, the damage one person can cause.
The original KKK was dissolved in the 1870s until it was revived by William Joseph Simmons in Atlanta, Georgia, just months after the release of Birth of a Nation, and historians agree that the movie played no small part in that. In fact, the first time that the Klan ever burned a cross was in the movie. The real-life Klanders adopted it because they liked Griffith's imagery, and they went on to even use the film for Klan recruitment for decades.
The Klan was gone. For 40 years, it was gone. And one person with a pen and a platform.
All right, we back. Now, usually when you have these debates about the influence of music, the influence of movies. A lot of people say it's just entertainment. It has no effect. Now, me personally, the side of the fence that I fall on, I never really believed that music and movies and cinematography has no influence on society. I mean, I'm a songwriter myself. I make music myself, so I fully understand the influence of music. And even in that part of the segment right there, it said that the first time that the KKK burned a cross, that was seen for the first time in the movie. The KKK got that from the movie, and they used the movie as a tool of recruitment, to bring in new members. Because like I said before, the movie depicted black men as dangerous, violent, criminal, sexually degenerate. They're gonna come take our women, take over our communities, burn down our houses. And even though, like we mentioned before, the film was not based on any historical facts, it wasn't based on anything true. It was all BS for views and clicks and views. But guess what? Because of this film, the KKK was reborn, and it was given a second life, a rebirth. And in the film itself, the KKK was depicted as heroes and saviors, protecting the community, protecting the white women and children. Now, let's continue.
Membership skyrocketed into the 20s, rising to as high as 6 million in 1925, roughly
6 million. From 0 to 6 million people. 5% of the country. That's right. 5%. Do your homework. You'll see that the Klan was actually involved in all levels of government. People ran on a Klan ticket. Here is where you start getting the first images that many people in the country had of black people. Remember, you could be in this country and live in places where you never interact with black people if you're outside of the South. But if this is the first motion picture, there's all these cinematic things going on and ran in so many houses. This is the first time the image of black men, black people in general, black men in particular, have been taken into someone's neighborhood.
Later, the movie especially perpetuates the stereotype of black men being rapacious towards white women through characters like Gus and Lynch, even though the historical precedent was for higher levels of sexual violence committed by white men against black women.
All right, we back. Now, the way we view the KKK, we view them as a domestic terrorist group, but during that time, the KKK and their sympathizers, they viewed them as those protecting the community, right? Because after the blacks were free from slavery and they were entering political positions, that was seen as a threat to the social order of the United States. That was seen as a threat to national security. So in the film, black men were depicted as these sexually, depraved, degenerate creatures, right? That were going around harassing and assaulting white women. When in reality, what was happening was, it was the white men abducting black women off the street, dragging them into the woods. It was the white men assaulting black women. It was the white men. They were projecting all of their degeneracy onto us through their media platforms. What they were doing, they were the one terrorizing the community. They were the one terrorizing black women. They were the one burning houses down. They were the one inflicting violence upon people for no reason. But in the movie, they turned around and projected all of that onto black men. They dumped all of that on the back of black men. Why? Because for a short time during the Reconstruction era, when black men were entering political positions and starting to gain positions of influence and leadership in society, they needed to delegitimize that. And in order to maintain the social order of European dominance, they needed to depict black men as being unfit to lead, unfit to govern, unfit to be in a position of power. Now let's continue.
Not only that, but contrary to the film's depiction of powerful black men physically intimidating white citizens, the actual precedent for racial violence as a whole during Reconstruction was white people attacking black people.
So this is what happens when people want to sell a narrative about you. The truth was one thing. Black people were active citizens after Reconstruction. But look, they got us with our feet up on the house, feet up eating chicken.
All right, we back. Like I mentioned before, during the Reconstruction era in the late 1800s, before Jim Crow really started to come into effect, before the KKK was reborn, black men were holding political office. Black men were in positions of power and leadership in society. And in the media, they were depicted as, up in the political office, eating a bunch of chicken and got their feet kicked up on the damn table, eating chicken and dancing and a bunch of, dumb shit. Just ignorant shit. Destroying our image, making us look ignorant on the media. Similar to how they make us look ignorant on the media today. I talk about it on my channel all the time. Let's continue.
Bring it all home, but I need you to understand that the way this was depicted over 100 years ago, plays a large role in how your image as a man is seen today.
One of the main reasons why the film leans so heavily and offensively into inaccurate stereotypes about black people is because there are practically no black performers in the film. Because all the black characters are white actors in blackface, their performances are caricatures, white ideas
Blackmail media
or seemed like. Meanwhile, the film's presentation of the KKK is similarly flawed. The Klan wasn't formed as a retaliation against black men chasing white Southerners' fiancés and burning their houses down, but as a means by which to restrict the growing freedoms of black Americans and to undermine Republican influence in the South however they could. Undoubtedly, this meant over 3,500 lynchings across the South, but it also meant killing Republican candidates and white carpetbaggers and destroying black churches and schools established by the Freedmen's Bureau. Not only is the reason for their existence misrepresented, but contrary to the film's depiction, there were a vigilante terrorist group that didn't engage in mass military action, but audiences seeing the Klan as such a powerful and honorable savior of their community was powerful enough to trigger the rebirth of the Klan itself. And how the media changes the way that we look at ourselves and at the people around us.
How the media changes the way we look at ourselves and other people around us. How the media changes the thing. Why are we here today? Image is power. And today I want to bring it home as one of the few actual image consultants on YouTube as a black man and the destruction of the black male image. First thing they do is try to either tell you you're either crazy, violent, aggressive. Gus. He was crazy, sex crazed, and crazed, gonna snatch that woman. Well, that's how they did it for the longest, cops and America's Most Wanted, and this and that, pimps and hoes, such and so forth. See, that's one of the reasons I don't beef, because I stay on code. There are plenty of people who talk mad shit about me, and I have never said a foul word about one of these people on my platform because I understand the power of image and the power of media.
All right, we back. Now, I love this part of this segment because this was probably the one time where Kevin Samuels actually addressed his haters, you know what I mean? And by his haters, I'm talking about dudes like Jason Black, from the business broadcast, that weird ass, goofy ass nigga. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Made 11, 1,200, 1,500 broadcasts trying to call out Kevin Samuels, but he never once acknowledged your existence because he know you a peon, low life, bottom feeder ass nigga. Fuck you, nigga. Yeah, anyway, let's continue.
This is not working anymore because unlike when D.W. Griffith came out, when Hollywood and the media and the movie industry, it was much more controlled. It's decentralized. All you need is a smartphone and an internet connection. I told you I might not be going where you think I'm going with this. Image as power, and it is time out for it. My opinion is black men, we need to start calling out black men who play with the image of other black men. Calling them crazy, calling them thugs, calling them criminals when they don't have any of these records. Calling them betas, calling them gay, all this other stuff. Dr. Tommy Curry, man not. Are we not men? Just because the man may not walk like you, talk like you, groove like you, does he not deserve the same respect you demand for yourself? And if you think you got a problem with him, give him a damn phone call. Speak to a man before getting online talking about a man. Because that's what we have witnessed. People getting online trashing a man's image as if that was not a man. And we're so used to laughing at it. If you laugh at it, you're complicit in the destruction, in your own image destruction. If you laugh at tearing down another man, don't be surprised when it comes your direction. Let me ask you folks a question. He said it the other day. We can all tell you about Ray Rice. We can all tell you about what happened to Jay-Z on the elevator, but tell me the name of the Seattle player that damn near killed that woman and left her for dead.
All right, we back now. Yeah, that's crazy right there, bro. Y'all remember that story back, I believe it was January 2021, that white boy on the Seattle Seahawks, he had a black girlfriend, and it was viral for like one day. It was in the news for like one day, bro. He damn near, beat that woman, beat her like a slave, bro. I'm telling you, the photos of her face had leaked, bro. She lucky she's still alive today, man. I'm telling you, white boy damn near beat her to death, and that story didn't even go viral, bro. That story didn't even go viral for longer than 24 hours, man. I'm telling you, bro. But it is what it is. Like Kevin Samuels said, we don't control the media. We don't control the propaganda that gets disseminated in the atmosphere. So they control the airwaves. They control what gets broadcasted. They pick and choose what to boost in whatever algorithm they design. So it is what it is, man. Let's continue.
Why is it? Because we don't control our own media image. That's the thing I've been preaching for the longest. Black men need their own media for them by them. But until we have it, we need to do one thing, a black male code. We don't go to the internet talking shit about each other. That's off code. Even if you think you're right, you're wrong.
All right, we back. Now, I'm telling you right now, this was the broadcast. This right here, this was the broadcast that made me start a YouTube channel. This right here, this was it. This was it. After this, I was like, yo, say no more, my nigga. Say no more, big bro. Say no more, OG. I got you. You know what I'm saying? I think I probably bought the microphone that same night. Hopped on Amazon, bought the microphone the same night. And I think I was on and off with it for a little while. And then sometime last summer, July 2022, that's when I really started to take, content creation seriously. I started really, uploading every single day. And ever since last summer, I've been uploading every single day. Maybe I probably would have missed maybe a few days here and there when I was sick and I didn't upload, but I've been going in since last summer, bro. I've been going in, and a big part of my channel, I always say, is repairing the image of the black man. Not only controlling our narrative and giving our point of view from our perspective, but also giving the correct narrative and correcting the historical falsehoods that have been disseminated through the Eurocentric narrative of history. Because if you leave it up to the white boys to tell the story, listen, we already know they have no credibility. The majority of scientific literature that they published in the 19th century is now classified as garbage in the modern day. They've disseminated nothing but nonsense back in the day, bro. Did you know that there was something called drapetomania? That was a mental illness back in the 1800s. And you know what drapetomania was? Drapetomania was if you were a black man or a woman that was in bondage and you wanted to be free, right? You didn't want to be enslaved no more. You didn't want it to be shackled to the plantation no more. You wanted to be free and be able to raise your family and live like a sovereign human being. They classified that as a mental illness, and there was actually medical treatments that you can give to a slave if he was suffering from this mental illness called drapetomania. Scientists during the 1800s, they really thought that if you were a black man and you wanted to be free, you wanted to have a wife, a family, and be able to live your life in an independent manner, they thought you had a mental illness. And people in society actually thought that this was a real thing that needed to be treated with medical care. And that's just one example of the nonsense and the garbage that was just polluting the airwaves and the atmosphere back in the day, bro. And still in the modern day, we have a lot of narratives and BS that people accept as true that later down the line in 100 years will also be looked back on and like, wow, people really thought that about black men? Wow. In the modern day, a lot of things that we accept as facts, I'm telling you, in the next century, they're gonna look back and be like, wow, people really thought that was facts? I can't believe it. But the beautiful thing that Kevin said was, unlike back in those days where they could publish literature and they could put out movies with no pushback because they controlled all the airwaves, they controlled all the channels to get literature and music and media and movies published and brought to the masses. It's not the same like back in the day. It's different now. It's decentralized now. Now we got independent platforms, independent voices in the media. Our access to information is unprecedented. They can't run the same games that they ran back in the day. They could try, but it won't be as successful because we're gonna push back on it. And another thing I want to say is, I know we always remember Kevin Samuels for the controversial moments, the hot takes, the viral clips. But for those of y'all who, like I said, I knew Kevin Samuels when he was the image guy. I knew Kevin Samuels way before y'all knew Kevin Samuels, bro. When he didn't even have 75,000 subscribers, I was subscribed already, bro. Way before he was interviewing women, I was subscribed to Kevin when he was telling us what shoe to wear to match with this suit. You know what I mean? Because listen. I love a good European suit. Call me a sellout, call me a coon, call me whatever, bro. But listen, European suit, that's just my flavor, man. That's just my swag, man. I was subscribed to Kevin when he had a business show interviewing black men called The Lion's Den with Ramil Amir. I was subscribed to Kevin way before y'all knew who Kevin Samuels was. Y'all remember Kevin Samuels as, the controversial dude, average at best. I don't remember Kevin Samuels as that. I remember Kevin Samuels as the guy who preached this message to black men. He preached this all the time. The importance of black men not only becoming captains of industry, owners, entrepreneurs, CEOs, being able to provide jobs to our community, but also controlling our own image and narrative through the media that we own and control and operate. One thing Kevin was good at was putting the medicine inside the candy, right? He knew the majority of his fan base, they wanted the controversial moments and the hot takes and things like that. But he always dropped them gems, them nuggets every now and then, like this broadcast right here for those day one subscribers. And I'm always going to show love to the brother, because if it was not for Kevin Samuels constantly putting that seed in my head, constantly saying, bro, we got to control our own image, our own narrative. For over 100 years, they've been destroying our image with zero pushback. Kevin Samuels is the reason why I'm here today, on the platform today, on the microphone today. And I don't got the biggest platform. Like I said, I only been uploading consistently, taking it seriously for less than a year. But I got about 3,600, 3,700 subscribers. And guess what? We're going to shoot to that 100K, and then that 500K, and then that 1 million. I guarantee we're going to do it. It might take a few years, but I guarantee we're going to do it. And we're going to do it independently, self-made, self-paid. The image of the black man, we taking it back. The historical narrative of the black man, we taking it back. Anyways, man. Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels, man. Rest up, OG. Rest up, big homie. Rest up, man. Yeah. Anyways, it's your boy Never Card Desaline back in the building. Yes, indeed. Like, share, subscribe, Cash App in the description. And I'm gone. Peace.
Reincarnated, I'm back in original fashion. I left on a horse and came back in the ass, and I left with abundance and came back to famine. We used to be pyramids, now we be rapping. Look how the mighty have fallen. Used to be running, now we be walking. When you be cooning, that's when they applauded. Selling your soul, your sons and your daughter. Gotta come up in this shit, they stuck in the mix. Really, my heart it be breaking. That's why I'm stacking that paper and handle my business. Pass it down in generation. Talking about money and power and building a nation. That's a deadly combination. Never be watching the TV, they pushing agendas, falsifying information. No, they got malice intentions. Step in the room and I'm feeling the tension. Enemy watching me, blocking my vision. Pay for the check cause I need my redemption. Building my kingdom, I need it protected. Ready for war like a young Money Congo. Never decided the team is the motto. Up in the crib and I'm whipping up waffles. Up in the crib and I'm smoking gelato. I'm chilling, I'm taking my pain and make it ambition. I'm blessed by the gods, but I ain't religious. I came for the power, they came for the bitch. They making no hourly wage, I got business. This shit is an art and they could never be taught. Selling my soul, I can never be bought. Play with my money, I see you ain't caught. Run to the check and I do it for sport. Babylon falling, I go to the source. Packing my luggage and go overseas. Shorty be with me and she so elite. Shorty be chocolate, I'm calling her Hershey. Secret intelligence probably gon' murk me. Don't fuck with brands, cause nigga I'm Haitian. Say the wrong shit and you're smacking their faces.